Hi everyone, today I'll keep it short but cover everything about how the Sorceress's permanent teleport works in Diablo 4. Everything about how and why it works and what you need to make it happen. You hit like and subscribe, I drop the guide. New off here? Let's go. Everything below applies to any Sorc build that uses fast movement through permanent evade, which is pretty much all of them. The basic idea is this. We slot teleport into the enchantments, and it's upgraded through the skill tree with enhancement nodes. The beauty of enchantments is that they retain all the bonuses from the base skill. So Evade inherits the enhancement nodes from teleport, which include the useless movement speed bonus and the actually useful damage reduction after teleport. Now we need to get the cooldown on teleport in enchantments down to 2 seconds. Once it hits that, activating the rune word Sir plus Vex will give us plus 3 points to all skills in our skill tree. This applies to active skills that can be slotted or placed into enchantments. Passive points are not affected. Sheko already gives plus 4, but we'll talk about that later. As we can see, every extra point reduces the teleport cooldown. When we use any skill 5 times, the rune word triggers and adds 3 points, cutting teleport's cooldown down to 1.7 seconds. The animation for activating any attack skill, Hydra, Lightning Ball, Blades, or Spear, takes around 0.2 seconds, so we hit our goal 1.5 seconds. Now check the boots and read the affix. Any attack, mind you, reduces Evade's cooldown by 1.5 seconds. Profit. Here's our Evade. Jump once, 1.7 second cooldown starts. Now jump and press Lightning Ball. Cooldown instantly resets to 0, so it goes jump, attack, jump, attack. The attack doesn't need to hit anything, just pressing the skill is enough. Any skill works except defensive ones, and since the current top build, like the previous season's top build, uses constantly holding down Lightning Ball, we're always attacking. Now I'll show how it looks moving with 74% total cooldown reduction. Now I take off the offhand and total CDR is 70.5%. Watch the speed yourself. Now I take off Talresh's ring. Total cooldown reduction drops to 65.9%. Here we go. As you can see, that's the absolute minimum we need. So, without any buffs, 2.3 second cooldown. With Seer plus Vex, it's 2 seconds flat, just barely scraping by. So, 65% is too low, 74% is great, 70.5% is good enough. How do we get there? Helmet, Harlequin Crest. The unique aspect gives plus 4 to all skills, not just offensive ones, but also teleport. On top of that, you need a greater cooldown reduction affix and all 3 temperings into it. Next, Talresh's ring, also with a greater cooldown reduction affix and also all 3 temperings into it. Offhand with cooldown reduction stat, if you've got that, you don't need all 3 evade cooldown temperings on the boots. Depending on whether your offhand has CDR and whether it's a greater affix, check your total teleport cooldown and enchantments. You might not need any evade cooldown temperings on boots at all. We also get CDR from the passive node Evocation. Reminder, for permanent teleport, the main benchmark is the cooldown time on teleport and enchantments after Seer plus Vex is active. 1.7 seconds is great. Going lower adds a tiny bit of comfort but isn't very noticeable, so no need to obsess over it once you hit 1.7. You can also use the boots that reduce ultimate cooldown by 4 seconds when evading through enemies. Great for high pits. Since these boots have a built-in 2.5 second evade cooldown reduction affix, you need 2.7 seconds under the rune buff. Again, animation time on attacks is 0.2 seconds. Even though attack speed is important for any build's damage and breakpoint mechanics, for permanent evade it doesn't matter at all, since there's no frequency requirement. You just need one attack, any attack, after using evade. Also, keep in mind that this whole mechanic works perfectly with ping under 60. For some reason, people quietly skip over that part. Maybe it's because they've got 25 to 45 ping. In big cities across Germany, France, Austria, and Poland, that's normal, and they've forgotten what 100 plus ping feels like. Up to 100 ping, this still works decently. Above 120, it works poorly, but it's still playable. Also remember, total cooldown reduction is key because we summon things. Blades, spears, familiars, and hydras. Having all 10 of them up is vital for the Sorc build, because without the primordial binding node, you're going nowhere. It's like a class summon signature, a must-have node. Without high CDR, you won't be able to keep 10 summons up without using the Sesh rune, and then you lose the 15% multiplicative damage from the Ohm rune. But that's a story for another time. Running Pit in 1 minute isn't just about XP, it's also about loot. It's the best source for gear with one or more greater affixes. Thanks for watching. Later.